Good evening, fellow Conservatives, and people being forced to watch this against their will in the Qantas Club Lounge. Welcome to Full Credit. And tonight I'm turning my blowtorch on these two smug communists and their government of correct pronoun-using solar panel sympathisers who are still planning to pass the third stage tax cuts, all because they're too weak to break an election promise. Now let's be clear, these tax cuts are terrible policy, and I should know, I helped write them. But here's the thing, when we came up with this conservative wet dream of tax breaks for tycoons, we never thought they'd actually pass. We thought it was a funny joke, you know. Oh, knock, knock, who's there? $243 billion worth of taxpayer money to people who don't really need it. Lol. But now it appears it's going to get through. All because prime snowflake Anthony Albanese doesn't have the guts to break an election promise. Frankly, I miss the days when leaders would lie to our faces just to claw their way to power. So Albo, show some ticker and dump this atrocious policy that we wrote so that Dutton can rip into you for breaking a promise just like he always planned to. Unbelievable. And now it's time for Flog of the Week. And this week's flog is none other than so-called former Prime Minister Julia Gillard, who has been busy promoting a book marking 10 years since the misogyny speech. But of course, no one in the lamestream media is talking about the other seminal speech made that day, proposed amendments to the Federal Circuit Court of Australia Bill 2012, a blistering address delivered by the Honourable Stuart Robert to an empty chamber that afternoon. And if Gillard hadn't stolen all his thunder, we'd still be talking about how they bravely changed the name of the Federal Magistrates Court to the Federal Circuit Court of Australia. Well, I refuse to let that injustice pass, which is why I'm proud to launch his new book, I Will Not Be Lectured To on Proposed Amendments to the Federal Circuit Court of Australia by this woman. So let's get around him. It's good to hear a male perspective from that day. And finally, it's time to blow the whistle. Oh, always do that. And today, we are blowing the whistle on isolation rules. And thank God for that. You know, we don't need the government to tell us when to stay home. We can decide that for ourselves. It's called a sickie. That's right. For generations, Australians have enjoyed their right to get absolutely maggoted with their mates on a Tuesday night, wake up with a mouth as dry as Senate estimates, and then call their boss and say, yeah, nah, won't be in today. And there was nothing their boss could do about it. But for 3 years, corrupt state governments have been impinging on our right to chuck a sickie with their isolation rules based on public health advice. Well, I'm blowing the whistle on public health advice because from tomorrow, the power returns to the people. We will decide when we take a sickie and the circumstances under which we do. Because I don't know about you, Australia, but I don't need a plandemic to tell me that some days I just don't feel like working. Oh, and on that note, hey, Kath, I won't be in tomorrow. You know, I got a bit of a tickle in my throat. Thanks for watching Full Credit. Stay hydrated.